very much. So I'm Shahida Imami. I am the CEO and co-founder of Singular Photonics. We are a spin-out from the University of Edinburgh, CMOS Labs, and we're a fabless semiconductor company. We're bringing the next generation of sensor technology to the market. We've recently just incorporated the company last month, and I'm in the process of finalising our license agreement with the university, which will give us access to 3 licensed patents and 3 sensors in our portfolio. I'm also closing our pre-seed round, and that's 400k with Scottish Enterprise, and that will give us a cash runway to Q3 of this year. That will allow us to close our 5 million seed round. Our technology basically is bringing the next dimension. So we're very familiar with the 3 dimensions, 3 spatial dimensions, and we're bringing time to that, and that's the 4th dimension in our technology. It's based on single photon avalanche diodes. So our sensors have layers. The top layer is the lit layer that detects the light. That cascades down to the logic layer that converts that light into electronic data, and that is where our magic is and our IP lies, and that is, we've got real-time pixel configurability, but also the time tagging, sorry, brain went, and the time tagging. What that does is we can detect not only the Raman signals and fluorescence in materials science, and that allows us to gather very complex data and keep that data, and that allows us to detect 50% more molecules, and because it's ambient conditions, you don't need any cooling, and it's low noise and light operation. We've identified our beachhead market as a scientific instrumentation, specifically Raman spectroscopy. We've already got 2 customers, 2 global scientific instrumentation companies in that space, and that is allowing us to secure our first commercial contract with them and delivery of our first product. Looking further into future markets and opportunities, we have identified quantum health and environment as the growing markets for our technology. There's a lot of different application spaces. Our sensors are market or application agnostic, so we've really got an opportunity here to build a very leading edge sensors to attack these markets. Just going into a bit of more detail in these volume markets. So just by their very nature, SPAD detectors are quantum devices, and arguably we would say that there's nothing more quantum than a single photon. Using our patent-protected technology, we've got advantages in material science, so quantum material detection. On the environmental side, Raman spectroscopy would be a key for the detection of microplastics and hydrogen sensing, but also future opportunities in healthcare as well for blood flow, deep tissue, and non-invasive glucose monitoring as well. We've got 3 sensors in our portfolio that have a wide variety of market applications. Our go-to-market strategy is to build the camera with our sensors inside of that, but future OEM opportunities for larger volume markets will move to sensor, selling the sensor only, and potentially as we develop future machine learning algorithms into the detectors, we'll look at licensing this technology out. Our route to market is through the direct sales channel. As I mentioned, we've already got 2 of the 5 global scientific instrumentation companies evaluating our sensors and also taking delivery of our first products next month. But also, as we'll continue to develop our relationships with our channel partners and value-add resellers, and as we move into our phase 2 territories in Asia, we'll look at our relationships with our in-territory agents. The team would be myself. I've been working in high-growth, high-tech companies for the last 20-25 years. I've done a number of exits, actually, during my career, and alongside me is Arvind, who is the CTO and also the co-founder in the company. He's got a chip design technology background, along with Professor Robert Henderson and Neil. We are the 4 co-founders in the company. And delighted to say that Pete Hutton has joined as our non-exec chair, and he's ex-ARM, so he brings a wealth of experience and expertise in building and growing a chip company. Very briefly, financial summaries, really forecasting in our beachhead market revenues. But as we move into volume markets within the next 12, 24 months, we can see that break-even point coming forward as well. So that's me, and thank you very much for your time. Happy to take questions.
Thank you, Shahida. I guess Xavier told me before the speech that he had questions, technical question on SPAD, so go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're familiar with the Finnish company called TimeGate, time-gated Raman, Raman spectrometry. So they're using also CMOS SPADs. They've been doing this for about 10 years.
Yes.
They're slowly starting to pick up, so we see market adoption is an issue. How do you see yourself compared to those guys? Would you sell your technology to them as a business model? Would you compete with them? And if so, what do you bring to market in addition to what they do?
That's a really good question, because I think there's a bit of complementarity in what both companies do, but there's also a key difference in how we do the time tagging as well. So they do time gating, and that's very different from time binning. So if I was to put it into very simple terms, when you're doing time gating, if you're expecting a photon or somebody at the door, and you wait and you open the door, and it could or could not be whoever you were expecting. But in time binning, what we can do is we open the door and we just let everybody in, and then we sort that data out cleverly. So that's the difference between how TimeGate do their time tagging compared to ours. They are a potential customer and also a potential collaborator for the future. I think the difference I feel we have is we've got Professor Robert Henderson. He's 20 years global world expert in SPAD technology. So we've got him as a co-founder and advisor, and he's got a very close relationship with ST Microelectronics. And as far as I'm aware, the quality of the SPADs, the top layer, the light detection, photo detection efficiency is really important, and ST have one of the best photo detection SPAD technologies available. So it's combining two greats, the light detection plus our smarts, I guess, in the algorithms. Hope that answers your question.
So let's take one last question.
So I have two questions, maybe. So let's see if what we can do.
I'll talk fast.
So I'm really convinced there's a market for more high precision device, but there are really two questions in that. What are your unit costs? Because what the problem we have with quantum sensing is that the sensors tend to be very expensive compared to what already exists. And there's always a question of what is the delta ROI compared to what is already available. That always come back. And then second question is, so you mentioned, and I think when you look at quantum sensing again, medical device is a really good market. I totally agree. But there's another market, did you look at it, which is defense, and there are very strong buyers. So yes. I was surprised not to see them. And you mentioned you might be able to do LiDAR, and if you are able to do it at a low cost, you could access to the tens of millions of automotives that are made every year, which is a super large market opportunity. So I don't know if it's possible, but it go back to the point of the cost. It has to be low enough.
Yeah, so that's exactly where we're aiming for, because I think we can get our costs quite low. As soon as you start doing high volume foundry runs, the cost actually does become something that could be integrated into wearable technologies, handhelds and LiDAR. The reason why we're not going through LiDAR at the moment, there's quite a lot of competition in that space, and I think our technology, and especially the time binning and the complex pixel optimization, is really well served in our beachhead market. And I don't think there's any reason why we can't go into that, but we just don't want to go into an already busy space. And in terms of revenues, I think anything in LiDAR and automotive is going to be 10 years from a revenue perspective. So what we want to do is go in early into a market that's not got that much competition in it at the moment, and get the technology validated so that we can then move on to, attack the higher volume markets. I mean, at the end of the day, I think our vision really is just to build the best sensors in the world, and ultimately future goals would be bringing machine learning and everything else into that, and that will be with the next generation of sensors that are actually, underway at the moment. Unfortunately, can't say too much about them. I hope that answers.
No, but that's good. Think about defense. That's all
sorry,
I'm
I meant to say, sorry. Yes, we are talking to defense companies. I didn't put it up there just because I just wanted to streamline where we were, but we are talking for gas sensing, actually, at the moment, yeah.
Thank you very much, Shahida.